Last week on the show, we showed you some of these images from Providence, Rhode Island. This was outside the Citizens Bank annual shareholders meeting. These folks were demanding that Citizens Bank, which is based in the Northeast, they should drop the big financial investments that bank has in two private companies that run immigrant prisons for the Trump administration. And it was not just at that shareholders meeting. There have been protests all across the Northeast, specifically targeting Citizens Bank because of its involvement with Trump's immigration prisons. Citizens Bank, stop funding ICE prisons. One Rhode Island union has now said it's withdrawing hundreds of thousands of dollars from Citizens Bank in protest of what Citizens is doing with Trump's immigrant prisons. On top of that, a coalition of dozens of religious groups in Boston, they've announced that they will be pulling $1 million out of the bank unless leaders at the bank at least held a meeting with them to discuss their concerns. They made that threat, that charge, basically, last week. In a statement, Citizens Bank said in response that it does not comment on specific customer or client partnerships. But after having put that charge to Citizens Bank last week, well, that coalition of religious groups, the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization, they say this meeting they've asked for with Citizens Bank and its executives has not been forthcoming. And so they say, as of today, they're following through on what they said they're going to do. Members of this interfaith group, ministers, pastors, rabbis, they all gathered at a Citizens Bank branch in Boston today to follow through on their pledge. They withdrew $1 million from the bank. Apparently, this interfaith group has something like $14 million in the bank altogether. They say they're going to keep pulling it out $1 million at a time as long as Citizens Bank doesn't change its ways. They even brought this giant $1 million withdrawal slip with them for today's announcement. Among the speakers today was Reverend John Edgerton, senior minister of Old South Church in Boston's Back Bay, who said in part, "We are here today because we need to let the banks know that people of good faith, people of good conscience, people of goodwill, our neighbors, will not stand for building private prisons, for building deportation machines, for crushing our neighbors underneath their wheels for profit. No," he said, "no, not with our money." Joining us now is the Reverend John Edgerton, senior minister of Old South Church in Boston. Reverend, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you making time.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel, for having me. Really appreciate it and giving the opportunity to speak to your audience.
How did this come about? Why did the Greater Boston Interfaith Organization decide to start pressing Citizens Bank this way?
We pulled $1 million out today. We transferred it to another bank because we want Citizens to stop doing this dirty business. Citizens is one of the only banks in the country that banks with and provides financing for CoreCivic and GBIO Group, two of the most notorious private prison companies in this country. This year, Emmanuel Damas, who is a neighbor, a Boston resident, a 56-year-old man, he died in CoreCivic detention in Arizona from a toothache. He had a toothache. He complained about it. They didn't give him proper care. His toothache became an infection. His infection became sepsis, and he died. And these are the practices that CoreCivic is notorious for and GBIO Group is notorious for. And they will not be abusing our neighbors, not with our money.
I got the sense from the speeches today from you and your fellow clergy who are part of this interfaith group, I got the sense that Citizens Bank is not a symbol. They're not a sort of a distant corporate abstraction to you. As a bank that is based in the Northeast, as a bank that is something that deals individually with all the different faith organizations, churches and synagogues and mosques that are part of the interfaith organization, I got the sense that you as faith leaders in Boston have a real relationship with Citizens Bank, and that is part of why it both pains you and motivates you that you haven't been able to shift them on this. Is that fair?
We feel deeply betrayed by what Citizens Bank is doing. 20 years ago, we helped them to build relationships in the immigrant community so that they could expand their business. And since then, they have turned into an organization we don't recognize, into an institution we don't recognize anymore. Rather than partnering with and building up all of our neighbors in Boston, instead, they are making money, tearing families apart. And it is unconscionable. It is against the basic values of this country And it is something that I find religiously abhorrent.
Do you and your fellow clergy who are part of this interfaith group plan to continue to withdraw more money from the bank as a way of sort of ramping up the pressure? Are you hearing from any other faith organizations or nonprofits or entities that bank with citizens who may want to follow your lead on this?
Today, our sister organization, Greater Cleveland Congregations, joined. They pledged that they would pledge their deposits toward this as well. So we are now well over $14.5 million of deposits. We are customers of Citizens. We don't want to hurt Citizens. We are 20-year customers with $14.5 million and growing of deposits that are ours. And we want for them to do what is right. Their core customer base is in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, across New England. They are fast becoming the ICE bank. And if they think being the ICE bank is going to play well with their core base here in New England, they need better advice. And that is what we are trying to do, is give them some good advice, which is that they need to stop being involved in this dirty business.
Reverend John Edgerton, Senior Minister of Old South Church in Boston. Reverend, thank you so much for your time. Keep us apprised. We're really interested in this campaign, both for what it means in New England, but also, I think, the kind of model that it presents around the country. We'd love to have you again and to hear how it goes.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Anytime. Really appreciate it, Rachel.
All right. We'll be right back. Stay with us.